Namaste, great souls. Wonderful to connect and share our practice together. Pretty soon we'll be doing some breath work, but I just wanted to give a big overview of a basic principle of yoga. And let's just take this in that from the Gita, all suffering is because we have forgotten our true nature. So all suffering comes down to that premise according to the Bhagavad Gita. So, of course, in our practice and in our lives, we get to connect to our true nature. And these are just wonderful ways to do that through the breath and the kosha model, the physical body, the breath body, the mind. We want to go from regular mind to wise mind, and our bliss energy kosha, our joy kosha. So just know that's all happening as we go into our practice. And as we feel that connection within, we want to expand that. It's not only enough to feel that connection within, we want to expand it to others, to feeling the connection to flowers, to people, to mountains, so that we're interconnected in this wonderful web. So without talking so much about it, we can experience it with our breath work. So I'm going to sit back here. I don't think I've taught this in a while. It's the box breath. So I'll describe it first, sitting comfortably. And you might have seen the diagram of it. It's a box. So we're going to inhale. It can be anywhere from 4 to 10, the count. You probably don't want to go right to a 10. I'll start with a 4 and we'll do 4 rounds. But first, let me describe it. It's inhale 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, and then just continue again. Okay? So rooting down through the sit bone, just feel your belly, pelvis, your feet connected to the earth. So important to ground and feel that support. And then as you feel that support, as much as possible, stay connected to that support as we're breathing, as we're talking, as we're moving, whatever you're doing. Is ideally to stay connected. And I know we go in and out, but we can return. We're going to exhale completely through the mouth and then begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Do one more round, feel a pace, maybe stay with the 4, the 5 that feels right to you. And then when you're complete with that box breathing, just let the breath appear as it's appearing with your inhale, with your exhale. Notice what that feels like with just 5 rounds of box breathing. We know research says that we need 5 minutes of any kind of pranayama breath work to really change our nervous system state. We're going to get benefits of relaxation in a short period like this, but we're going to get much more regulation if we do it for 5 minutes, which isn't asking too much, right? All right, so thank you, body, for all you can do. Let's start to get movement going. Taking our hands on the shoulders, circling around 3 times in one direction. Big exhales, 3 times in the opposite. Our wings of joy open. Okay. And then drawing into the legs. Let's shake out the legs first. And I don't think I've taught this in a while. Rocking the baby. So bending the right knee and hugging your knee in, cradling. Your spine's going to round a bit, but try not to over round so that if possible, you're rocking side to side. And we know rocking, of course, is very soothing and comforting. And not just for babies, but for ourselves. So we're rocking and breathing and noticing sensation and connection. That's a theme today, is connect to that wave. The metaphor, the wave is connected to the ocean. We are connected to something much greater. And go ahead and circle around. And everybody has different ways to do that, but we're all doing that through the yoga practice today. Okay, and now from here, we'll go ahead and extend that leg, spine lifts, turning so you can see, heart lifts, stretching through the hamstring. You can use a strap here, you can reach behind your calf. In fact, notice this is subtle. If you interlock, that's one thing, but if you have one hand under the calf and then another, and then you pull apart, like you're feeling your shoulders open more. You're not scrunching as much when the hands are connected. So just feel that subtle shift. Left hand, maybe around the strap or the foot, opening to the side in that V pose. Energize through both heels, energize through the heart, open to this day, open to the spirit, soul within you, expanding. Now look at, I could see a tree out my window here, or the blue sky. My individual self is expanding and connecting to the trees, to the sky, to something greater, and I'm having this connection go on consciously. Thank you, trees and sky. Thank you, body, coming back. And then letting this heel get longer, perhaps, the leg, hamstring open, shake it out. Okay. And of course, we'll do the rocking the baby to the other side. And there might be a very different experience here as the left knee bends. And we're first just opening up and stirring the pot. And then hugging in without over rounding. There will be a rounding of the spine as we rock side to side. And just see if we can bring some nourishment, some nurturance to our cells, to this body. Thank you, body. Thank you for showing up today. They say that's 3/4 of the battle, is showing up. Connected to the breath, connected to the life force energy, and then we'll do that V extension either with the strap or with the hands apart, and feel that widening of the shoulders, of the neck. And then reaching and twisting from the corner, right corner to the left of the abdomen, stretching into a V. So personally on this side, I'm seeing the plant, I'm opening to the warmth of the fire. So our individual self, we get so contracted when we're just in our individual self. That's where a lot of the suffering is, right? Only ourself, and then we expand out and connect to nature, to warmth, to gratitude. And then we draw that in. That's a relationship of connection, a felt sense connection. Hopefully you feel that. And is suffering when we don't. I know that personally. Bending the knee and then extending, whoo, and reaching out with that left heel, shaking it out. And make sure you're rooted as down through the sit bones as we lift the arms up, lift the spine, and take your time to come forward in our forward fold. Heart lifts, so spine is straight up first. And then we just melt. Every exhale, softening a little bit more. The hamstrings, of course, are very active. We got a yin and yang going on with a lot of the poses, but the upper body softening, the heart softening. Again, bowing to the wisdom of the heart, that well of the heart. We want our wise mind in yoga, and psychology is so much about the mind, the thoughts, behaviors, motivations. Very important, of course, but yoga philosophy, psychology wants to acknowledge that mind, but also drop into our wise mind. Wise mind is connected to a higher self. Inhale, heart lifts, and keep reaching the arms up. And feel the space all around you. Again, individual self connecting to the greater space all around us. Okay, let's ease on down onto our back to do some back release, core strengthening from the ground. I'm gonna feel Mother Earth supporting us. And with every breath lies infinite power. As we lift the heart, shoulders ease down. And we can tuck the tailbone under and shimmy shake down. Melting the low, mid, upper back, press through the feet. Feel the space underneath you and sweeping the arms around you as we just hug those knees in and widen the back body. Again, those big auditory exhales as we circle the knees apart 2 or 3 times and then go in the opposite direction. Okay, so I forgot to bring my weight by my side. If you are using weight, I'll show you an option without it. Hey, Therese joining us. Full vet checkup yesterday. All right, so if you are using a weight, if not, you just bring your arms overhead, plug in through the feet. Thank you for the love. We're gonna reach that weight behind us or the arms. Keep the back plugged in, and then exhale, reach up. And just do this another time to get a sense of it. Reaching back. Oh, there you are. Funny, it's right by my spiritual eye here. Okay. Inhale, coming up. Crown. Yeah, I know you want me to pet you, but I've got my hands on the weight, so patience. Okay. All right, now we're going to add on. We are going to lift the feet up, knees in line with the hips. And we're going to extend. So if you have the weight, of course, you're holding on. If you don't, you're going to do an opposite arm. I'll demo both. The main thing is keep the low back plugged in no matter what. Exhale, left leg extend, arms reach up. Inhale, come back. Exhale, right leg extends, arms reach back, coming up. If you're not using the weight, it's just the opposite arm, opposite leg. Left leg, right arm. Be careful, the low back likes to pop off the floor, especially the farther the leg extends out. If it's too much to extend the leg, another option is to keep the knee bent. So go at your pace, go at your timing. Try to do about 4 to 6 rounds here. I'm gonna get back. As if you're reaching with the bar, we can go like this and do the extension with the weight. Lots of ways to gain strength, flexibility, connection, and interconnection. Awesome. Okay, when you feel complete with that cycle, just fold those knees in again and iron out. I want to keep moving between strength, flexibility, restoration, and the breath is continuing. We're more aware of the breath when we're practicing, and hopefully that translates off the mat as well. Okay, circling. Now, bring in the right arm, bicep by the ear, rolling to your side. And we're just going to lay on our belly. I'm going to turn around. You're going to stay where you're at. This with the. We come onto our belly. And we get a lift here in our Sphinx pose with our forearms down. And then you really want attention right now. We're lengthening the heart up. The legs are expanding. In other words, we're reaching back through the toes. They're strong as we lift the heart. So we're getting this first back bend feeling. And we're going to go in our Sphinx pose. Okay, so we're rising up. And we're breathing. We're feeling our spine. We're going to go into iguana from here. Okay. We're bending our right knee. So that right elbow and left elbow is going to flare out to the side so that right knee can bend. And we're going to lift the right elbow up and thread this left arm through. And once that happens, we could spin onto our back. Think of coming onto your shoulders. The knee comes up and we just pulse back and forth. We've done this many times. We're just approaching it from the belly versus the back. And we're going back and forth, hydrating between the knee and shoulder several times. So we can then sustain it on our back. I'm going to adjust a little bit so I'm on the mat. Heart open wide. And sweeping that right arm above the head and that rainbow arc, affirming what we're talking about. Divine life is within me and all around me. Really feel that connection. It's not enough to, it's great to feel it within, that's where it starts, but then that inner connection. Not as something in the space around you or a person that you may be feeling in your heart that you're interconnecting with. Divine light is within me and all around me. And when we're ready, we extend the right leg, we unfurl. Back, adjusting onto our spine, onto our belly, not our spine, and resting for a moment, stacking one hand on top of the other, resting at the spiritual eye, softening the shoulders. Let's just go into a full yogic breath here at your pace and timing. Belly expands, heart opens, crown opens, and then the reverse on the exhale, the crown, the heart, the belly, the feet. It's the metaphor of the individual waves that we each are, but we're connected to that vast ocean of spirit. We can affirm that if that speaks to you. I am the to the vast ocean of spirit. Something much larger than myself is fueling this form as we come back into the Sphinx. Legs are strong. If it helps to reach your arms out first to get that up heart opening feeling, and then keep that going in our Sphinx. But remember, the legs are strong. They're not passive here. You can't tell, but my knees are off the ground. If it helps to have that block between the thighs, just to imprint that strengthening of our legs to protect our low back and a mini back bend. It's important. Foundation solid. Okay, we're ready to go to the other side. Iguana. The left knee bends in line with the hip. The elbows are going to flare out for this transition. Naturally so. We lift that left elbow and we thread the right arm through. And we sweep back and forth. We need some space around us. Hopefully you have that. Just enough. Back and forth, knee and shoulder, head's going along. You know this one so well from mostly I teach it from the back, but it's fun to do it from the belly periodically. Now sustaining it, we want to get the shoulders to touch as much as you can, so that knee's going to come off the ground. Okay, the toes of the right foot are turning up to engage the core strong but fluid through this arm movement and neck and shoulders. And that deep affirmation, divine life is within me. Let's slow it down. Let's see if you can really feel that divine life within you. It's hard to feel. Ask for help there. Ask to feel that connection. And then it's all around me. And you could do something with nature or something in your home or somebody you care about that you connect to. Divine life is within me and all around me. When you feel complete, let's first connect within and then connect to that divine life. And then that's the essence of the journey, is to keep that interconnection going. And don't feel alone as we go through the challenges, the joys and sorrows of life. As we come back onto our belly, adjust and melt again. Just take that in, full yogic breathing, soften where you can. And then we're going to just do a couple locust series just to get a little bit higher in our back bend until we go into full Bhujangasana, full cobra. Opening again to our joy kosha, which is the kosha in the body. Inhale, it could feel subtle. We're reaching back, the legs are strong. It doesn't feel subtle, the energy in the body, but the joy can kind of feel subtle. I'll take any joy, subtle, medium, high. Exhale, soften. Let's go out to the side, expanding upward on the wings of joy. Maybe lift the legs if that's appropriate for your back. And condense again. And now get ready for the full cobra. Hands underneath the shoulders, legs strong as we rise up to greet this day. Shoulders down, maybe knees off the ground, lion's breath. 2 or 3 times. Clearing all the chakras, but of course the throat chakra. And then the knees touch down, and we're just gonna take a rounded cat, an opposite, right? Exhale, chin tucking towards the hollow of the throat, rounding. Navel to the spine, you can feel that. Inhale, scooping. So we'll do a couple classic cats, and then we'll add the circular cat. Exhale. Inhale. Neutral spine, and for just to start, but then we're going to circle, start with the hips, and then you'll notice the shoulders will just go along for the ride. And you could go as deep toward the heels as you like, or as light, and then just reverse it. Circular cat. Okay. Just laughing, thinking of Tigger down here. And then just find your neutral spine. We'll take it into full down dog, but we're going to hover those knees off the ground. Couple breaths. And start to pour it back, meaning radiating your heart energy towards your thighs as you open up through the fingertips and thumb. Feel the points, the base of the fingers and thumb reaching to the earth. And we're affirming that calm energy or peace. Calmness radiates through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. I added a bending of the knees, whatever works for you. Maybe your first down dog of the day. I'm going to circle my head if my hands and feet are stable. And then we're going to step one foot forward, and then the opposite. Come into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. Make sure you're on the 4 points of the feet, not too far on the heels, not too far on the ball of the foot. Shaking out unnecessary worries, anxieties, stressors. Of course, there's challenges out there, but the more grounded, connected we are, the better, of course, we'll be able to face those. And the more we're connected, ideally we get connected to others that are going through their challenges and their ways. Releasing unnecessary burdens, bending the knees, reaching the arms back in chair, sweeping up, pulsing for strength. 3 times. What do we want to slice out? So taking, I don't know, some anxieties we can't control, just slice those out. Reaching up, more faith, more connection, more interconnection, more support. Reaching up, coming to the front of the mat if you're not there. Feeling the space all around you. In our mountain pose, so rooting down. Again, return to belly and legs and feet, or either any of the first chakra and down is going to be that connection. And as you breathe there, can you still stay connected to the earth as maybe your eyes were already open, but as you open your eyes and again connect to maybe another person in your sphere, outwardly or inwardly. I'm looking now at a flower on the table. Appreciating my husband doing the behind the scenes movement of the camera. So many things to be grateful for you all for showing up. As we open to our connection, we can feel, and then we train ourselves to interconnect interconnect and receive. So even though you're on the screen, I feel you, and it's a beautiful thing we have this format to interconnect. Hands on the heart, soften the shoulders, lengthen through the crown. And we're going to go into our flow. I'm going to get a drink of water and I'm going to grab my weight. You don't have to have a weight. I'll show you some things to do without it. But if you want some bone strengthening, it's nice to have a 3 to 5 pound weight. All right, so warrior poses and floor work. So let's start with the left foot forward, right foot back. If you don't have a weight, I'm going to suggest you do an eagle arm mudra, bring in the right elbow underneath the left and pulsing up like this as we do our weight. Okay. If you have a weight, so first everybody's going to ground through the legs. And then we're going to bring our weight above the head. That was just enough space here. So with the weight, we're going to exhale, bend and root down. And then inhale, pulse up. So eagle arms are coming forward and then up. Weight people are bringing the weight back, but we're all affirming. I attune my will to the source of all power. Now you may notice here, if you have any low back issues, this might be a lot on your back. You may want to, it's a bit of a balance challenge, but you may want to bend the knee to take some pressure, the right knee off the low back. See what works for you. Keep pulsing at your pace. If you're doing eagle pose, you're doing a forward and then an upright at your pace. And we're all unfurling out, expanding the heart, and then coming down, rotating off the back heel, coming onto the top of the right knee. I think we do this every time I try to. Keep hydrating those hips. So important, this larger ball and socket in the hips here, to keep those as flexible as possible. And easing open again, feeling the earth, feeling our belly, interconnecting. Now, we're going to do our revolve bent knee triangle from here, either with a weight or without a weight. So if you have your weight, we're all going to turn that back toe under and come off of the knee. We're going to move from the right corner of the abdomen over to the left. And then maybe we'll lift that weight up or our arm up as we ease the hips down. Press through the large toe, second toe, that back foot. Open to the joy kosha. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Energy and joy fill my body cells. Okay. And then from here, you notice how that weight really adds. We come down and we're going to do our, before we do our whole flow, we're going to step this left foot back. And we're going to bring it on the outside of the right ankle, heel, and really stretch through that left side that was in that bent knee position. So if you can really even turn to the, looking over toward your left shoulder, getting more of a stretch there. And then we come back. And we're going to lift, we're going to extend our left leg, lift our right arm. Do some brain balance body challenge here. Circle in one direction. It could be the same direction or the opposite. Let's see what your leg and your foot and your hand want to do here. So we're circling and then we're going in the opposite. In other words, your front is going clockwise, the back to go clockwise or counterclockwise. It's interesting. Okay, planning down, so I don't forget this in my own brain. I'm gonna go to the other side with it. So the right leg extends. We step that foot to the side, past the left heel. Oh, stretching through that side body. And then bring that forward. Woo, stretching the arm out. Don't collapse in the belly. Start with the hand circling. And then the foot. A few times in each direction. Very interesting. And down. Okay. It's good to laugh. I can feel what my brain was doing there. All right, let's flow. Let's reach back before we go to the other side into our plank. You come forward, come back. We could be stable. You could be on the knees. Chaturanga, if you want to do a knee, chest, chin chaturanga, feel free. Legs strong as we rise up to greet this day. Open in the heart. For the inner connection. And that connection first within your divine self, and then recognizing that in others and in their space, as well as we pour back to down dog. Any variation you like. I'm going to add some rippling here. Feel like flowing. It could be stable or flow or combo. And affirming our mind. We want our mind to affirm that wise mind truth. We don't avoid the challenges, but we could say, even though there's been quite a bit of challenges, what I really want is to return to the calmness and the peace within. Calmness and peace radiate through every cell of my body, every fiber of my being. Okay. And from here, we're going to step the right foot forward, back foot 30-degree angle of Virabhadrasana, taking our weight. If we're using the weight, let me just demo the eagle arms if we're not using the weight. Right hip back, left hip forward, floating down, expanding out, opposite elbow underneath. So demo here a few times. The weight people, you can just go right into it if you're using your weight. I attune my will to the source of all power. I attune my will to the source of all power. I'm going to use the weight. Build that strength every chance I get. Remember, if it's too much on your low back, you could come off that back heel, add the bent knee, if you even want more of a balance challenge. I attune my will to the source of all power. Really luxuriate in this warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. The strength to be with the challenges, but with that attunement of something, that deeper spirit within us, the divine, however you call that, and then connecting outside of ourselves. When we come down, we come off that back heel, and I'll move my foot up a little bit more, and shimmy shake side to side. Thank you, body, for all you can do. You might feel a difference in each hip. So we did the stretching and the opposites earlier on this side. So what we're going to do now is revolve the triangle. Now you could have your block here by the instep, of course. And you'll notice how it really adds by our strengthening to add the weight, if that's an option for you, to twist from the left corner of the abdomen to the right, stretching up, head to tail connected. Opening to the joy kosha. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. Remember, that could be a subtle joy. It's wonderful if it's a profound joy. Love that. But not always the case. I'll take the subtle joy. Energy and joy. Fill my body cells. We're opening to the joy kosha. And slowly coming down. Woo! Bring it out in front. I'm going to step it back into our forearm plank this time. One forearm down, then the opposite. I kind of rock forward and back because I know I'm strengthening. And then the knees touch down. Unfurl the toes, back to our friend the Sphinx today. And resting, melting, other hand on top of the spiritual eye and our wisdom brain. Letting our wisdom brain lead the way. Of course, our mind in its executive functions does a lot of things we need. It also defaults and goes to the familiar a lot, so we can really work with up-leveling into our wisdom brain in the upper chakras. I am that wave of peace expanding. You could feel that expanding into the ocean underneath me of support, the earth underneath you, the ever metaphor of a nature that speaks to you, that you feel the most interconnected. For some people it's mountains, others ocean, others earth, the trees. So not only are we connecting to it, it is connecting to us. So that's resourcing back. It's in relationship. We're opening to the relationship. Okay, let's rise up again and do one more standing pose. Inhale, open to greet this day and the interconnections of this day. As we do the lion's breath, just one more time. Releasing the stuck energy out. I don't release this stuff out every day. And then we round the spine, one cat stretch. And we're meant to. It's a cleansing system. Neutral spine, pouring back to our friend, hovering though the knees, strengthening the core. Pouring back, and let's add our breath of fire. Once we stabilize and reach through the base of the fingers, spread those toes wide, heart toward the thighs. Let's add the 10 exhales through the nostrils, navel to the spine. Begin. Breath of fire. Slow it down. Returning. So many ways to use pranayama breath practices to cleanse, to calm, to energize, to balance. Beautiful. We have these yogis gave us these practices. And then stepping one foot forward, then the other, rooting down, and walking the hands back, lifting the heart. You could take your weight or out in front of you for chair pose. And then pulse here. You keep the knees bent, reach back. It's a little trickier, so let's just pulse here. Arms up without the weight. And bring the hands to the heart. And just put this down to the side. Oh, feel that in, that connection through the feet, through the belly, through the heart. Again, that grounding and then opening through the crown to practicing consciously the interconnections. Sometimes they could just happen vicariously, but how great that we're consciously looking and sensing and feeling for those interconnections, because they're here. They're here. It's just, where are we? That's always the question. And if we can reset, we could find ourselves drifting into many lands and we could come back. Tuning up the spiritual eye. We'll do one more standing pose with our weight or with our hands. So this one is really done best with two weights if you have them. We will go into our Virabhadrasana 2, bending your left knee over the second toe, shoulders, hips lined up, root down, arms out, and exhale. Draw those weights or hands in, and then expand out. I joyfully manifest the power of the divine. The divine is the theme all the time within me. Different ways of saying it. And then I'm experiencing in the interconnections around me. It's a lot, or it's more when we add the weight. Now, if we want to continue, I'm going to walk this right foot in. I'm a bit wide for the triangle. We did our bent knee revolve triangle. What's nice about the weight, if you're using them or a block, you could set it down and then reach this opposite arm up. Again and again, opening to the joy kosha. Energy and joy fill my body cells and feel it within me and all around me. It's a lot to bring this arm around with the weight. It may be too much. You may choose to keep that weight upright. We won't be here too long. Just enough 3 to 5 breaths to get the benefit of this wonderful side body stretch. And then bending your right knee, or left knee rather, sweeping up if that's okay with you, with the weight or your hand, and then coming forward. Ooh, ah, he. Let's go to the other side. Well, now truly the right knee bends, shoulders want to ease away, track that knee over the second toe. Line up the hips and shoulders with or without weights. Reach the arms out. Now notice what happens. We brought them forward. Notice this variation. Looking over the right hand, I joyfully manifest the power of the divine. Again, different ways to say it. You find out which affirmations work for you. I say that, and then it could be the ones from the Ananda yoga system, or you could bring in something you're working on. And then we'll go ahead and take it into, again, you just step this foot back closer into our Trikonasana. So reaching out, maybe I'm going to put the weight upright, like a block would be. And then this opposite arm reaches up, head to tail connected. energy and joy fill my body cells. Now I'm going to take the weight out. If you weren't, you could circle around, but it's a lot. If you're not using a weight, if it's too much, you could set the weight down and get that hydration in the shoulders. Joy is within me and all around me, that subtle joy or profound or anything in between. When you're ready, come back up, sweep the arms up. Woo. Bring the toes forward and take it all in our forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Bring the weights down, stretch your arms out in front, elongate the spine. Feel that spaciousness between each vertebra. Maybe walk the hands underneath you or the hands to the ankles, crown of the head, like a weight drawing toward the earth. And then wrists underneath the shoulders, heel toe it in. If you can, see if we can come into squat malasana. I know this is tricky for the knees. Sit on a bolster, but so good for our digestive system. Physically, of course, and what we're digesting emotionally, psychologically, mentally. Hard stuff. We want to acknowledge it, do what we can there, be real with it, and do some cleansing out. Some rinse and soak, release. Okay, we'll just start to calm down. I think, yeah. So we come down. This might be easier to access the butterfly. Soles of the feet together and just kind of circle. Strong warrior poses, standing, twists, forward bends, back bends, complete practice. And then walk your feet out a little bit more. It's called diamond butterfly, meaning if you can reach your hands underneath the outer calves towards your toes, the elbows bend, and we just melt again into the wisdom of the heart. Let's take 4 to 5 deep belly breaths here. Inviting the heart to lead the way throughout this day. If we forget, we can reset and return. Okay, inhale, that feels complete, lift, and then unfurl the arms. Okay. And let's go ahead and keep the left knee bent toward the earth. The right foot could plant down in front of the shin or on the outside of the thigh. Either way, we're going to add another twist here. Left corner of the abdomen to the right. Right hand behind us. We can hug that knee in or the elbow on the outside, chin parallel. So again, left and right and all around is the affirmation. Life's harmony is our mind through that interconnection. My individual self, I'm seeing the trees again. Blue sky, I'm noticing more intricacies on the different trees. The trees are already, even though it's technically winter, they're already getting ready for spring. Friend that's very much about trees told me this. Believer. And then we still come back, lengthen and grow. So they seem dormant, but they're starting to activation, just like ourselves. Come into a V for a moment and then switch. Don't think about it too much. So again, that left foot could be in front of the shin or on the outside of the thigh. Root down as much as possible through both sit bones. And the right corner of the abdomen toward the left as we hug that knee in. Left hand behind us, helping support somewhat. And twisting. If you want to ease back a little bit, you're welcome to in those pulsations. And you can, as I look at the invitation of the beach and out here, I'm thinking of our regulars, Lila and Bala in Costa Rica. Sending them some interconnection. So happy for them, they're there. And easing out. And so we could be in this, what's in our environment right here, right now. We could certainly send energy to all over the world. Okay, let's just take a moment and take this in. Just a couple breaths here if you're okay like this before we come onto our back or back release. Opening through the crown, we focus a lot on the rooting and grounding connection, stabilization through the earth. But then opening, like you might even visualize a golden light energy radiating 1,000-petal lotus from the crown. Okay, body, thank you, body. Let's start to calm it down. We're going to end with the legs to the side. So I suggest having your strap. I was thinking about doing it standing, but let's just do it seated. So heart lifts, exhale, rounded spine, shimmy, shake down. Low, mid, upper back releases, knees fold in. Any way you want to release, if that's rocking gently or widely, side to side. And we fold that right knee in. We take our strap around the ball of the right foot. Make sure the plastic isn't hitting the foot. And then make sure the shoulders aren't crunching up by the ears. If your low back's okay, extend the left leg down. Rotate the right foot out to the side. Choke up on the strap so you're not jamming into your shoulder. Open the gate here of the hips. You'll notice that left hip comes forward. We want to root down and widen. And expand the left arm out. So find where you could be for several breaths here. Remember, the higher the hip goes, you can even play with that. Not necessarily more opening. That could create more restriction in the hip. Find out where the energy flows through this whole right side of the hip flexor and shoulder. Deep belly breathing. You want to go to the 4-4-4 box breathing, you're welcome to. I'm going to stay with belly breathing, expanding, opening the hips and the heart. Opening to divine life within me and all around me.
interconnection of the individual cells. The suffering is created by just only seeing ourselves. So needed to interconnect. Engage the core if it's time for you. Lift that right leg up. Before we go to the other side, we're gonna bring that left foot in. And just take a moment here, circling around. You know, inversions are so beneficial. Soon we'll be going into Shavasana. So you may, now you could bring the legs up the wall for longer, but for now we're just kind of tasting it. And then the left leg extends to the sky if you can. Open up and extend that right leg. Otherwise, you could keep the knee bent. Choke up on the strap. Turn the left toes out to the side. Open the gate of the hips. Make those adjustments to feel where this greater hip opening could be. And again, God will cut off some energy if you go too high with that leg. Reach through both heels. Reach through both hands. Like a starfish expanding. Belly breathing or for box breathing or whatever count that works for you. Just know the kosha model in yoga works with the physical body. Again, review the breath body, the mind, the wise mind, and the joy, bliss center. And that, again, I'm highlighting today, that could be subtle. A lot of times we go bliss and joy is like wonderful if it's profound, but just feel that subtle joy perhaps. Let's see if a person is coming into your being of interconnection, of gratitude. We'll be doing it in a little while here with place, so say place. Engage the core if it's time, and we lift this left leg up, and one more time with both legs in an inversion. And soft circles, really feeling the release around the sacral region. All right, if there's one last pose you want to do, feel free. I'm going to just hug those knees in, happy baby, classic. Releasing from the right corner to the left corner of the abdomen. But as we know, it's so important to get as cozy and comfortable as possible. And we're going to just go into absorption. We've opened and regulated the energy centers in the body. Thank you, body. And then we're going to come into our Shavasana, maybe with the knees over a couch or a chair or a ball or a bolster, you know your options. Or legs up the wall. Okay. Reaching going as well. So, as we started,
Continue to return to our true nature through the breath. Whatever part of your body is touching the earth, let your body melt into that support. If possible, if it's practical to ease your head from side to side, go ahead and do that. So naturally you'll find a stillness of the head aligning with the spine. Maybe you want a more audible exhale. Inhale, feel the cool air coming up through both nostrils, maybe even coolness or light you can sense and feel at the spiritual eye, radiant light there, healing light. Relaxing the face, that's so important. The forehead, the eyelids, jaw, left and right. If it speaks to you, placing the tip of the tongue behind the upper roof of the mouth or the back of the two front teeth in that direction. And you'll feel how your throat chakra opens more. Softening the shoulders. Just feeling that healing energy pouring through all the cells of the body. You're getting a light bath here. And spaces between the cells. Feels pulsation, heat, or energy in the palms of the hands, left and right. Fingers and thumbs. Notice if you want to place the hands, either the heart, belly, solar plexus, or by your side. What feels best to you now? And then just allowing, luxuriating in the space, in the chest cavity. Let's feel that liquid prana pouring through our blood, our glands, our lymph, cleansing. Allowing space for whatever is appearing in our lives right now. Spacious awareness. And we want to use the power of visualization to return to a safe place. When I say that, notice if it's a place in nature that comes up for you, where you feel at peace. For many people, that could be the ocean, the warmth of the sand, or it could be inside in a warm, comfy, cozy by the fire. Just notice what place appears, your safety, and just utilize your senses to expand in the power of visualization, to expand into it more. So important to know we can return to the sanctuary, the safety, with the power of our mind, our thoughts, visualization. And in a safe place, our bellies can expand with ease more and condense and let go. Continue the body scan in the low back, the hips, the cheeks, and feel radiant sensation streamlining down both legs, left and right thighs, knees, calves, ankles, soles of the feet, digits of the toes. Relaxed and aware. Returning to wholeness, returning to our true nature that's already here, already whole, already free. Mind will drift, just bring it back to the breath, maybe a couple rounds of box breathing to stabilize it or not. Knowing that you are that wave, the individual wave of peace, connected to the vast ocean of peace. No, we are part of something much greater, something eternal. Whatever life brings, we could return. Welcome to stay in this interiorization if you have the space and time and the preference to do that. It's time to return to movement. We know we do this gradually with ease. And if you are returning to movement, maybe resting in our side, that's symbolic of the fetal pose, that nourishment we've given deeply to all aspects of ourselves. And we stay connected, hopefully, to the belly, to the feet, as you start to, if you are transitioning to a seated pose, you still stay connected. Make that a practice of staying connected as now we interconnect again and again by visualizing those people or situations we'd like to send healing energy to. This is a sound, the 3-syllable Om sound, very, very symbolic in yoga to do that. So we'll visualize those souls or parts of the planet or the whole world at the spiritual eye. I'm going to generate some heat with the hands if that speaks to you. Let that 3-syllable Om sound come through as you inhale. Ah. Om. Om. I'm bringing the hands in namaste, bowing to the wisdom of your heart, letting it lead the way. This is where we are one in this consciousness of interconnection. And as you move into your day again, seeing if the connections are there, can we interconnect and have this wonderful relationship that we are not forgetting our true nature and connecting to others as best as we can, and animals and nature and all that great stuff. So I'm going to stop the recording now.